Hello.
Oh, hey guys.
This is the witch. What was that?
Why is that?
This is the Witch's Magic Murder and Mystery Podcast.
I'm Kara.
I'm Megan. I'm serious.
Business.
The story I have to tell you is not funny.
Oh, dang.
Not a bit.
Oh, man.
So I can't keep laughing at the story you just told me. If you're on the Patreon, you're going to enjoy it. It probably won't be out before this episode comes out, but it'll be out soon. So funny. You know, Kara's just really good at telling you stuff with a completely straight face.
I mean, it happens.
And I can't do that because I think I'm the funniest person in the world.
Like, Megan has already, like, thought about her jokes.
Yeah.
And, like, mine just come to me.
Kara just,
So I'm just
Kara
like,
just thinks of them. Okay. Hello.
Hey.
I have a cold and I just want to apologize in advance.
For a second, I was like, I know Megan. You're telling them.
Right. Kara. Hey, I'm Megan. How are you?
Yes.
Good to meet you. I'm glad
Glad
you're here.
glad we could do this.
I've had a cold since the beginning of time. And I can't breathe and I keep sniffling everywhere. And we're just going to have to get through this together.
Look at your roll of toilet paper.
Yeah. We couldn't find Kleenexes, so. You know me, I'm always classy. Okay. Let me get comfortable.
I know. I was thinking, is my foot going to fall asleep?
You should get cozy.
Oh, man. Is this bad? Is this going to be bad?
Okay, well, it's a murder
Oh.
mystery.
Oh, okay.
There's some debate.
Mm.
You know how I like to do these. I've done multiple stories about murders that look like suicides, that look like murders.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So keep that in mind.
Okay.
It's kind of interesting to me that there are so many of these kind of stories.
Okay, yes. There's so many rabbit holes. Once you research one, you're like, oh.
Right.
Whoa, here I am.
Well, here we go.
Okay.
We're going to June 2nd, 2007.
Oof.
Right?
Let's give it a jump.
So this was crazy. I was trying to, you know how sometimes I'll be like, this was the song, this was the president, whatever. I was just trying to think of all the ways the world was different in 2007, because in some ways, at least to me, it doesn't sound like it was that long ago.
Right?
But it was a completely different world.
It really was.
For one, I was married. Whoa.
Ooh.
And I only had one child who was like not even a year old. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't.
But this isn't just about me. It was an entirely different world in 2007 because that is the year that Apple launched the iPhone.
It is.
I can remember when iPhones came out and my now ex-husband got one. And I didn't have one. And I was very like, I am never getting one.
I will stick with my razor.
Whatever I had been. And the reason I was so adamant about it is because he was always on it.
Oh, yeah.
He was on his phone so much that I was just mad all the time because I was like, I want some attention. You know what I mean?
Like,
And,
I don't care if this is a new fun toy. Pay attention to me.
I get that we're divorced now, but I don't want to be too hard on him about that because also, like, you know, people who had iPhones, like, especially if you were some of the first people to have iPhones, I mean, it was
new.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
And it was stuff you could never do before. And I, of course, since I did not have an iPhone and they were brand new, I didn't really know what they were.
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
Yeah.
I was very just like, why are you always on your phone? Why are you constantly looking at your phone?
What are you doing?
You know? And now, like, part of the way I make a living is by constantly being on my phone. So I can be mad about a lot of things, but not that one.
There's so many other things.
And I am. Okay.
Yeah.
Facebook and Twitter also went global in 2007.
Whoa. Yeah.
So
That's
think
when
about
I started my Facebook.
What a beautiful world 2006 was, you know?
Ooh.
Before smartphones.
Just like imagining like scrolling back to those very first photos.
So I think keeping that kind of thing in mind, like 2007 is when we got the iPhone and Facebook around the world. Like, are you kidding me? And it matters when we're talking about crimes and stories that happened back then. Okay. So
yeah,
just keep in mind.
Yeah.
I'm moving my computer so you can't see.
Okay. Wow. Wow.
I don't like it when you can see what I'm going to say, especially when I think I'm going to drop some bombs on you. All right. June 2nd, 2007. We're in San Francisco.
Okay.
36-year-old Hugue He was French. Hugue De la Plaza. He had gone out on a date that night, and then he met up with his friends at a bar around 10:30.
Okay.
That was back when 10:30 was a completely normal time to go out.
Right.
As opposed to now, when it's like, you want to go out? I'll meet you at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, no.
No, absolutely not.
Not doing that nonsense.
It had just been a normal night. He was a sound engineer at Leapfrog.
Oh.
And he had just gotten a promotion, so he was really pumped about that.
How cool.
He was lively and friendly. He was hitting on women, laughing, smiling. Classic Hugue is how his friends describe him from that night. I know, Hugue. I heard something from, this is not really in here, so it's all recall from the articles I read, but this one of his coworkers was like, yeah, I didn't really like him at first because, he was French.
What?
He was like, he was really French. And he said the thing about his name, like he really loved when he would tell women his name and he would like emphasize the Frenchness, like Hugue. Because he was all trying to be all like, look at me, I'm mysterious and French. And of course the women just ate it up. And he said that the women, would be like asking him about French kissing.
Oh.
And I was like, this is so corny. But of course they did.
Of course they did.
And he loved it.
That's so funny.
Anyway, I gotta scoot over again.
Gotta readjust.
Okay, so it got late and Hugue decided that he was going to go home.
Okay.
Trying to make sure I'm still good here. Are we good? We're good.
Good.
He was hoping to meet up with another woman later, according to his friends, but those plans ended up falling through. After I read more about this, I don't think he had like specific plans with a specific woman.
Okay.
It was more like, hopefully, I'm going to find me a woman to hook up with tonight. Yeah. So
it was like my old roommate. She would just, anybody that would yell her shirt color would go home with them.
Well,
I'd be like, nope.
She and Hugue would have gotten along real well.
She would have been besties.
So also before he left, he'd made plans with another friend, this guy friend of his, to take a motorcycle ride the next morning. So his apartment was a 10-minute walk from the bar. And I read at least one person's statement that the walk home would have taken him through kind of a rough area.
Okay.
And then there's security camera footage that shows him getting home around 2:06 a.m.
Okay.
He lived in this like triplex where like there's 3 front doors all in a row. We all know
this, guys.
We know that once he got home, he made himself a snack. Rice and peas.
Oh.
I was like, well, I mean, maybe 2007, maybe pizza rolls didn't exist then. Probably.
They sure did.
He also got on his computer for a bit looking at dating sites, which is why I'm like, yeah, he was looking for a woman. Yeah. And then also he was checking out real estate in Argentina because he had been talking about buying a home there like in a few months. That was kind of his long-term goal.
Oh.
We know he was on his computer until 2:38 in the morning.
Okay.
At around 3 a.m., Hugue's neighbors were kind of half asleep, half awake, and it was this couple, and they heard a noise outside their window. And it sounds like it's one of those situations where you wake up and you're like, what woke me up?
Yeah.
Did I hear something? Was I dreaming? What's happening? So they, then you're laying there like,
did I hear something?
It's like straining to hear, right? And they hear Hugue's door open and close, then open and close again. And there was some time between those two, and then footsteps running down the stairs. And then another sound that was like someone sat down and fell over.
Oh.
And they said there was a pretty loud thud.
Oh.
They heard all this, but it also wasn't this. It's apartment life. You're used to sort of hearing people, and there wasn't like you couldn't hear voices. Nobody screaming. There was, so they're like, it's not necessarily alarming. Someone had been awake and out there. So what? And they just went back to sleep. Like, no big deal. At about 8 o'clock the next morning, one of Hugue's neighbors comes outside to get their morning paper, and there's blood all over the front porch.
Oh.
Just everywhere.
Oh.
They immediately call 911, and 2 police officers show up. They knock on Hugue's door, but there's no response. It's locked, so they go around to the back, and they look through the kitchen window, and they can see there's more blood.
Oh.
They have to break down the back door, but they get inside, and that's where they find Hugue, face up on the floor, dead.
Oh.
He had been stabbed 3 times in the chest, neck, and abdomen.
Oh my gosh.
There was an unbelievable amount of blood just all over the place. A detective later said that you could see when Hugue started to pass out because the handprints and smears, they're going down the wall like he's falling backwards.
Yeah.
And you could sort of tell that he had just sort of been grabbing at anything, which is just really heartbreaking.
Yeah, that's scary.
And she stated that it was one of the most unusual crime scenes that she had ever seen.
Oh.
And of course, I said crime scene, but I'm not sure if we should even call it that. Maybe a death scene.
Scene, yeah.
Now, remember, I told you the front door was locked.
Right.
And they'd had to break down the back door. So both doors had been bolted from the inside.
Oh.
No windows had been forced open.
Okay.
And there was no sign of an intruder at all. So what we have here is a locked room mystery.
Yeah.
So to recap, there's a man dead inside his home, 3 stab wounds to the head, neck, and chest, doors locked from the inside, no sign of an intruder, the windows hadn't been messed with, the TV was overturned and there was broken glass, but it was also like Hugue could have done that as he fell or stumbled around.
Okay.
There'd been no 911 call, no one had heard him shout or cry for help. There were bloody footprints tracked throughout the house, but those footprints belonged to Hugue.
Oh.
Police look at the scene and they're like, well, this must be a suicide. He'd obviously taken drugs at the bar, come home, and killed himself. And I get it, because there's no physical evidence at the scene that points to another person being there to commit murder. But what we should be more concerned with is what was not at the scene.
Okay.
That to me very clearly points to another person being there to commit the murder. Would you like to know what they did not find at the scene?
What's in the knife?
It was the knife, Kara. They did not find the knife. So he stabbed himself and no one else was there.
Right.
Where did the knife go?
Where did the knife go?
There were 2 knives in the sink. One of those was a steak knife and had a little bit of red residue on it. You see, what had happened was Hugue stabs himself in the head, neck, and chest, and then he's like, I need to
wash
clean this
the
knife.
silverware.
Right. I can't just leave it here.
Right.
So while he's dealing with these major wounds, he goes to the kitchen sink and washes it. And then he died. The thing is, when they tested that knife, that red substance was just a tomato stain.
Oh.
And also when they ran a toxicology screen, because of all the drugs he had to have taken, there were 0 drugs. No drugs in Hugue's system.
Wow.
So the police theory...
And his alcohol levels were not super
nothing
high.
Abnormal. They said he just had a couple bourbons.
Yeah.
The police theory is that he took drugs, came home, stabbed himself with the steak knife that was found in the
Washed
sink.
his steak knife.
But both parts of that theory are proven wrong.
They're just not. Okay.
So, of course, what happened then is the police were very quick to be like, we've made a mistake. Guys, we're wrong. We learn new information. We learn. We grow.
No. They just said, forget about it. Forget about it.
Stuck to the suicide explanation. Even though the evidence that they thought they had didn't exist.
Yeah. But nothing.
They
fits
just
that narrative.
Here's what they decided. Well, obviously then, if these knives weren't it, and by the way, they talked to experts later who were like, with the amount of blood,
it couldn't have been those knives.
Well, there would have absolutely been some sort of red. It wouldn't have even mattered if he'd washed it. There was so much blood.
Yeah, on the sink, around the sink. Yeah.
So they came up with this idea that after he stabbed himself, Hugue either hid the knife.
Right. That's why he was running up and down the stairs.
Buried the knife that he'd used. Or he threw it out the window. And, it's just never been found.
Oh, okay.
But, Megan, didn't you say a security camera had captured Hugue getting home that night? Yes. You are so smart, Kara, for remembering that.
Right. Yeah.
There was a camera, but this was 2007. And back then the cameras just weren't, no, not that. But the cameras were motion activated and the picture was blurry. Like, even them saying they saw Hugue getting home that night, like, they're sure it was him, but it was like, it's kind of like his silhouette. They can't, it's so grainy. 2007 photo is just not what it is today.
Also, even today, like, for some reason, security footage, like the stuff they always put up, I'm like,
it's always crap. I know.
You could do better.
It didn't capture anyone else coming or going from Hugue's apartment that night. But people who support the homicide version of events say that if someone had been planning this and paying attention, they could have easily avoided setting off the camera.
Right.
There's also a side entrance that isn't covered by a camera, but all the blood is on the front porch, so it seems like the side entrance probably doesn't matter, but it's still worth noting. An autopsy was performed 3 days after his death. So we already know there were 3 significant wounds. A puncture to his abdomen, another puncture to his chest, and a deep vertical wound to his neck. And that wound severed several major blood vessels and punctured his left lung.
Oh my gosh.
The wounds were definitely severe enough to have come from an attack, but also it wasn't entirely out of the realm of possibility that they were self-inflicted. Hugue was right-handed. The wound from his neck goes from right to left and downward. The wound in his chest goes from right to left and downward, and the wound to his abdomen goes straight in. In addition to the stab wounds, Hugue had several blunt force trauma injuries, including small abrasions to his forehead, lip, and arm, which could have been defensive wounds or could have been nothing. The medical examiner who performed the autopsy ruled Hugue's death as undetermined.
Okay.
She was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And like when she got to the scene, she looks at everything and she's like, this is a homicide. And then she keeps looking and she's like, but
yeah, what is it?
Nothing makes sense.
Right.
You know, and she admits that because she goes back and forth. Like when she got there, she initially was like, this is a homicide. And then in the report, she's like, well, even though he's never thought or attempted suicide, the scene is consistent with suicide.
Yeah.
We can't rule out homicide, you know?
Right.
And she's just like, nothing makes sense. There's no evidence that anyone wanted Hugue dead. Nothing had been taken, so there's no robbery. I mean, the knife disappeared. But also, according to the blood evidence at the scene, it didn't seem like there had been any sort of fight. So it doesn't show signs of a struggle. They can tell from the patterns, like the way the blood drops on the floor, that he didn't move very fast. It had time to like drop and leave like a round. I read this whole analysis of the blood stain. So it's like, you know, if it just drops kind of straight down, then it leaves a certain kind of stain.
Right.
Whereas if you're moving quickly, it's not going to do that.
Right.
And so they're like, you know, there weren't any high velocity blood stains. Like he wasn't in a fight or in a hurry to do anything. It looked like he had walked around slowly bleeding. And apparently, as he walked around slowly bleeding, he didn't pick up his cell phone on the coffee table to call for help. But another explanation could be that he was in shock.
Right.
Several major arteries in his, or blood vessels in his neck were severed. You know, I mean,
that's what I was saying. I was sitting here like,
he had to have bled out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about he wandered around the apartment for a really long time and didn't call for help.
Yeah.
So,
do we know his search history? I mean, like his
he had
computer
just been
history.
looking
He was looking at, but we don't know
real
whether
estate.
or not people like responded to his searches.
As far as they could tell, like nothing like that was ever mentioned.
Huh.
And there was no blood trail leading away from Hugue's apartment.
Right.
It was a super bloody scene, and it's not uncommon in a violent stabbing for whoever did the stabbing to get injured as well.
Yeah.
The medical examiner also pointed out that in the weeks leading up to his death, Hugue had been missing appointments and spending money, like more money than usual, which could be signs of depression.
Yeah. Or ADHD. Or
just life. Yeah.
Or just a college kid.
Because you could say, like, there's these signs of depression, but then also he's making plans that he's looking at houses.
Properties.
And, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those seem like they would cancel each other out.
Yeah.
Hugue had an ex-girlfriend. Her name was Melissa Nix, and they dated for 4 years. They'd broken up before he died, but they remained in touch, and she's a reporter now.
Oh.
When she found out about his death, she was just devastated. And when she found out police were calling it a suicide, she just knew, like, that wasn't possible.
Okay.
So this lines up with what his other friends think, too. They're just like, absolutely not. Hugue did not commit suicide.
Yeah.
He was super social. He loved life. He had just gotten that new promotion I told you about. He'd been making plans for the next day with his friend, but also months later.
Right.
Like, he was looking at houses that very night that he was thinking about buying.
Yeah.
On top of all that, according to Hugue's friends, he couldn't stand the sight of blood.
Oh.
Turned away from the mere sight of it.
Oh.
So it's also like, if he was planning to kill himself, why would he choose that method when
Right.
he's someone who hates blood?
Right.
The other horrible thing to think about, if it's murder,
Mm-hmm.
he hates blood and this is how he died.
Yeah, exactly. That's
And
what I was
he
just thinking.
Was awake. I mean, you know, he was conscious.
Conscious enough to
as
be
he
moving
died,
around.
which is just, it had to have been.
Yeah.
It's already awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah. My gosh.
Melissa is actually the one who called Hugue's parents and had to tell them that their son was dead.
Oh, wow.
And this was 2 days after his body was found. That's how and when his parents found out.
Oh my
the
gosh.
Police didn't call.
Didn't call him?
They lived in France, but like
Still.
Beyond just being like, we need to notify you that your son is dead, it's also like, wouldn't you want to talk to them as part
And
of
find
your
out.
investigation?
Yeah. That's what?
Like, wouldn't they be an important source of information on their child's mental state?
Exactly.
And they were close. Like his dad said, they talked on the phone or by email
Often.
once a week, at least once a week. Right. So
or
why
even, even ask about his past medical history.
Anything. So
Or does he have any enemies? Does he has he mentioned being afraid lately?
Exactly. Why would this not be part of your investigation? So Hugue's parents hired a PI who interviewed dozens of people and stated that he had no doubt this was a homicide. The parents also filed a complaint with the French government about the way that the San Francisco Police Department handled their son's case. And I just love, I didn't know you could do this, but you're going to be like, I'm going to go to my government and I'm going to tell on you.
Yeah, I'm going to tattle.
Yeah. And so I love this. The French government sends their own forensic experts to San Francisco to look at the evidence. And now we have an international situation.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
In 2009, Hugue's father, Francois.
Ooh.
Of course, his name is Francois.
Of course it is.
He held a press conference and he used a translator to announce that French investigators had officially determined the case was a homicide. In their version of events, Hugue had opened his door. He was attacked on the front porch.
Right.
Then managed to get back inside and lock the door behind him.
Okay.
Before dying from blood loss.
I mean, it makes sense.
It makes complete sense.
Yeah, because they heard the door open
and
close.
They heard the door open and close, which could have been him coming outside.
And then heard it open.
Whatever the noise was that woke them up could have also been the noise that made him be like, somebody outside?
Yeah.
And so he comes outside. He's standing on the porch.
Yep.
Who knows if there's an altercation, discussion of some sort.
Right.
He gets stabbed. And then he gets away. I would lock the door behind me too, to keep yourself safe.
Yep.
But he's bleeding out so quickly.
So much
there
blood
is
that
no
he can't.
time.
Yep. So he's just wandering through the house dazed.
I can't even tell when they say that he's walking around with he could not have walked around for a really long time.
No, it could have just been a dazed stumble. You're
right.
Just
you come back in what do I do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's just oh my gosh.
So the killer never came inside. That's why there's no evidence of a person in that.
And they took the knife with them.
Francois also said, based on the angle of the wounds, that Hugue could not have done this to himself. And I've already told you that the autopsy that was performed, they were just kind of
undetermined.
Maybe not. He could have, could not have.
Yeah.
Francois was like, according to our investigators, this is pretty obvious.
Y'all messed up, is what he's
I agree. He went on to say how appalling it was in one of the richest cities, in one of the richest countries of the world. The police needed pressure from French authorities to do a proper investigation.
Oh.
I mean, yeah.
Francois told him.
And the thing about it is, Hugue had family in France who, I don't know, does it take a certain amount of power to get the French government to send their own forensic experts over? And you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know.
There's a whole lot of people who don't have these kind of resources, who are right there in the same city that the crime happens in, and there's not anybody really to step up and fight for them.
Right.
And it just makes me think about that. So then the San Francisco Police Department ordered multiple outside reviews of the case. The LAPD got involved, and in September of 2009, they announced that Hugue's death was probably a suicide, but pointed to a lot of issues in the SFPD's initial investigation. For instance, the LAPD blamed poor communication at the scene for a probable loss of evidence.
Oh.
And I don't think they mean that evidence disappeared. I think they mean because you decided it was a suicide, you didn't process the scene like you should have. Yeah. And then a second San Francisco medical examiner gets involved, reviews the case, and comes to a clear conclusion. This is a homicide.
Oh.
This medical examiner points to blood splatter on the outside apartment wall as consistent with cast off, from like someone who's stabbing. He thinks Hugue was likely attacked on the lower landing of the front stairs and then made it back inside, where he would have died in just a minute or two from the wound in his neck.
Yeah.
So there was no time to get to his phone and call 911.
Oh my gosh.
It's not just that he didn't make a phone call. There was no blood on his phone.
Right.
Like, he clearly had not even.
He didn't even get to that point.
So if he was murdered, who did it and why?
Yeah.
His friends have theories.
Oh.
So we've already kind of alluded to this, but Hugue was a ladies' man.
Oh, yeah.
And he really didn't have any discretion about who he hooked up with.
Yeah.
Like, did she have a boyfriend? Did she have a husband? He didn't care. One of his friends was even like, would you hook up with my girlfriend? And Hugue was like, yeah, probably. I mean, he just
loved the ladies.
Now, just take a moment. This has nothing to do with everything, but imagine if we were talking about a woman victim who, she was promiscuous. She didn't have any discretion. She didn't care if the guy had a wife or a girlfriend. The tone would be
scandalous.
We're like giggling about this. If it was a woman, there'd be no like giggling about it. It's so annoying. Okay, anyway. He loved women, and he didn't really worry about the details when it came to who he hooked up with. So maybe some boyfriend, husband, ex-boyfriend, ex
from the bar that night
got mad. Another thought, sometimes Hugue did cocaine, and maybe he had stiffed the wrong dealer. Now, he had plenty of money in his bank account. They said he had like over $100,000 in his bank account. But still, maybe he just didn't want to pay somebody.
Yeah.
An experienced criminal would explain the efficiency of the murder, 3 quick stab wounds, as well as the ability to avoid the security camera.
Yep.
I also think it could have been sheer luck that they avoided the security camera.
That's what I was thinking.
Or that
the camera just didn't catch it.
If he came in from a certain angle, the motion camera wouldn't have set off. Like, you just never know. So, remember that ex-girlfriend, Melissa? She's been pretty adamant ever since this happened that police didn't do enough to investigate. And, of course, the fact that she's a reporter.
Right.
She knows where to go. Like, one of her first phone calls when she heard about his death, I can't remember if it was before she even made it to San Francisco, she called another reporter there.
Oh, okay.
And was like, why aren't you all reporting on this? And they were like, why would we report on a suicide? And she was like, what?
Yeah.
So she said, I wouldn't still be so upset this many years later if he hadn't made such a difference in people's lives and made life more fun and kooky.
Oh.
I'd never met anyone like him. And in other articles I read, she referred to him as the love of her life.
Oh, sweet.
She also thinks the reasons behind what she calls a poor investigation are more political than anything else.
Oh.
At the time of Hugue's death, there was a spike in homicides in San Francisco, and the police department was short-staffed and overworked.
Ooh.
So Melissa blames then-Mayor Gavin Newsom for not doing enough to push the case forward. It was not politically expedient for them to pay attention to it, she adds. That does not excuse police misconduct. We're talking about a murder. We're talking about someone who has a former girlfriend who was a reporter, the French government intervening, coverage in the New York Times, Washington Post, worldwide coverage, and they will not investigate it properly.
That's so crazy. He
was a white tech guy. You have to think about all the other victims in that city, the majority people of color who never get those resources, which, that's what I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
Like, he had all these resources, and it's still, and she is making the point. She's making the point where she's like, after all this time, all we're asking is that you rule it a homicide.
Yeah.
So that more investigation can be done.
So this can continue.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just say it's a homicide.
Right.
I mean, okay, let me finish this out. This is the last sentence that I wrote. A spokesperson for the San Francisco Police Department says the case is still open.
Okay.
Hugue's cause of death is still undetermined.
Okay.
And there are no suspects.
Yeah, but there are no suspects because they haven't really looked at it.
Yeah, who did you investigate?
Right. Did you talk to anyone?
They didn't even look at like his computer and search history and check out his phone. It was the PI the parents hired. They got that done.
That's wild.
Like it's a case, and we see this a lot, where the police sort of like decide what happened, and it's like,
and then they get
tunnel vision.
Yeah, They just don't want to look anywhere else.
And I think they're just like, well, the doors are locked from the inside. There's no other explanation. And it's like, really, as I was reading things, I was kind of like, wow, this is a mystery, until the guy said, well, he could have been attacked on the porch and then gone back inside.
There was
like,
so much
right.
blood there. And it's, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But they're police officers. This is like their job.
Yeah. I mean,
look
it could
at
have
the
even
entire
been
scene and make a conclusion.
the amount of adrenaline happening in his body to just turn around, get back in, and lock the door.
Yeah.
But then he started losing consciousness.
Obviously, you all can tell. I fully believe this man was murdered.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being the person that murdered him and you got away with it?
Right.
And you're hearing
still getting away with it.
They think it was a suicide?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's been, what?
You can't tell me that someone hasn't talked about it.
17 years ago. And that's the thing. Is this, I mean, it's a brutal murder.
Yeah.
So have they gone on to kill somebody else?
Right.
Had they killed people before?
Right.
Is this some sort of
Son of Sam situation?
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's a serial killer, but I just wonder if it's someone who's just violent.
Right.
And maybe they're already in prison for something else. But maybe not.
Right.
And they got away with it.
Uh-huh.
And they've got away with other things. And it's just fascinating. Since they didn't process the scene, sure, they didn't find any physical evidence of another person inside the apartment. But what could
did
they
they
have
process
found
outside? Yeah. Did you check the blood outside? Were there any shoe print? Like what?
There were no other bloody footprints. That was just him. Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
The thing with no trail of blood leading away.
But did they run into the grass?
Right, I don't know.
When they found him, was it late at night? And so, did they even check the grass? And so there was dew, and then, the grass doesn't have anything on it in the morning.
And I'm also just at this point like, is that true? Mm-hmm. Did you look?
Right.
Are you sure?
Right.
Could he have stabbed him so quickly and Hugue been like gotten in so quickly that the guy just did, was he able to? I don't know. I don't know. What angles was he coming from? How was he able to be?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is there's nothing in any of Hugue's behavior, including from those who knew him best,
to make it seem like he was
right.
That.
And I know you can't always tell.
Right. And sometimes it happens with.
But there's just so much evidence that he
plotting it or planning it.
Was making plans. That friend of his that had the motorcycle ride planned, he was like, the next day I called him, he didn't show up, and I was like, dude, I can't believe you're missing this. And then the next day, on a Sunday, he went for another motorcycle ride, and he tried to call again and didn't get him. So then Monday morning, Hugue doesn't show up for work. And so then the guy like drives by his apartment and sees all the crime scene, and he said there was still blood.
Oh my God.
And that's how he found out.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, oh my God, that's terrible.
But even like you would think as a local reporter, you would drive like neighbors would be calling in about a crime scene.
Yeah, but then if you call the police, the police are just like, no, it's a suicide. And you're like, okay, there's no story. Yeah. And this is San Francisco. There's so many other things you can talk about, right?
Yeah,
like if we're in Lancaster, Kentucky, where there's no news,
you're going to talk about it. Yeah.
Right. But this is San Francisco. They've got other stories they can tell. They don't need to drum up a story where there isn't one or where they're being told there isn't one.
Yeah.
This is the third story I've told where someone dies from stab wounds and it gets called a suicide.
Yep.
When it's like,
it's questionable.
The Jonathan Luna one is the only one that I'm like, I could see where this could be suicide. But the other two, no. The one I told just recently, who was the fiance, I can't think of her name. But, she was stabbed in the back of the head and they're saying that's a suicide, which was just, I disagree.
Yeah.
I know that I'm not an expert on anything.
Right.
but I disagree.
I can't see how forcefully I could stab myself. Like, unless I
the angle and everything didn't make sense.
Yeah, no.
And with this one, there's just.
I mean, no, because you would have to start with the stomach. Because if you started here, you'd be bleeding out too fast to finish the last two. Yeah. And even if you hit here, you'd still. And if you're right-handed and it went across, this would be the most awkward like stab. I mean, I get you could probably stab your neck,
Yeah.
But the chest would be the awkward one to go across and down with I'm having to
But the couple heard the door open and close.
Yes.
And then open and close again.
Yep.
And then
footsteps.
someone run down the stairs and then a thud in his apartment.
Yeah.
Like, who ran down those stairs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So. That's it. That's the story.
That's crazy.
It is very crazy. Thank you all so much for listening.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week with another episode.
Yay.
We love you
So much.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.